Seybold was elected the 29th mayor of the city of Marion and took office January 1st, 2004. During his administration, Mayor Seybold has worked thoroughly to recapture the quality of life in Make It Marion by enhancing community pride by providing a charmingly clean environment, a strong economic foundation, and a marketable environment. He has made several economic development trips to China and has spoken at Beijing University and the People's Great Hall. Mayor Seybold has been elected President of Indiana Association of Cities and Towns and the Indiana Mayors Association. He is a board member with the Legislative Committee for Indiana Association for Cities and Towns, Economic Development Committee, and First Tier Suburbs Committee for National League of Cities, and is a chairman of the Metropolitan Mayor Association. He has been recipient of the impressive Sagamore of the Wabash twice in his lifetime. He has also been featured in governing magazines and on Inside Indiana Business. Mayor Seybold began his political career in 2000. Upon being elected as a Marion City Councilman, prior to run for office, Mayor Seybold began his career with his sister Kim as a figure skating pair in the 1988 Calgary Olympics. He and his wife Jennifer are proud parents of Michael, John, and James. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Wayne Seybold.
Thank you. Thank you for that great introduction. Well, I'm happy to be here today. I love kind of getting out and talking to young people around Grant County about what my sister and I were able to accomplish in figure skating. And how many of you have skated at the Idlewild roller skating rink? Right. Well, that's where my sister and I, we used to live almost right behind the Idlewild in a trailer court back there. And that's where we started our skating career. So just like you, we went to, they had some Saturday morning skating with classes, and then we went to our school parties and skated there. And then one of the skating coaches at that time, her name was Cheryl Truman, and her partner Jackie Courtney. And Jackie Courtney was from Gas City. Cheryl was from Marion. They won the World Roller Skating Championships. They were the best pair skating team in the world on roller skates. And she talked to my mom and dad and my sister and I about skating pairs together at the Idlewild. And that's how we started our journey to the Olympic Games. Now, at that time, we didn't realize that we'd go to the Olympics. In fact, when people would talk about, oh, do you think you'll go to the Olympics one day? We thought, probably not. I mean, that's, one, roller skating wasn't in the Olympics at that time. And two, we thought, how do you do that from Marion, Indiana? And then after a few years of roller skating, then we switched over to figure skating, to ice skating. And we started driving to Fort Wayne and to Indianapolis. And that's kind of how I sell Marion as the mayor of Marion. I sell Marion to companies that if you want to do business in Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, you should be in Marion. It's the halfway point between the two largest cities in our state. And by the way, you also pick up Muncie and Anderson along the way, and Kokomo is pretty close, and Detroit and Louisville, they're only 3 hours away from Marion in either direction. And so that's how we sell the community. And I can talk about that, and I talk about how for years that's the drive that my sister and I and our mother made to and from practice. And what I want to tell you all today is that no matter what it is you want to do, whether you want to skate one day in the Olympics, or you want to play a professional sport, or you want to be a doctor, an attorney, a business owner, a nurse, whatever it is that you want to do in life, you can do that. And you just have to set some goals, and you have to dream about it, you have to think about it, you have to, what's cool today is the internet, right? You can get online and you can find out who was the best in that profession that you want to do, and you read about them. What did they do? How did they get to be president of the United States, or how did they get to be an NBA star, or how did they get to be an Olympian? And you know, what about Nick, right? You guys know who Nick is, who got the bronze medal in skiing from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, right? I mean, here's someone in skiing. I mean, I haven't seen any mountains in Indiana for a long time, right? I mean, we don't have mountains, but here's a young guy who had this passion for skiing, and then there's the perfect north slopes, which is really just a hill compared to where other people ski. And went all the way to the Olympic Games and got a bronze medal. Right? And I'm sure a lot of people along the way told him, oh, you're crazy, you'll never do it in skiing, are you kidding me? From Indiana. And here he is today, bronze medalist. And to get there though, and like in our sport, it was my sister and I, we went on the ice together and we skated. And Nick from Lawrenceburg went on the slopes by himself and skied. But let me tell you, if I had a picture of all the people that helped us get to the Olympics, you probably couldn't fit them in the gymnasium. There were hundreds of people that helped us from the time we started. There was this unbelievable team of people, right? And first and foremost were our parents. They sacrificed a lot of time and money and traveling and all that to help us realize our dream. And then we had our coaches. And then we had our teachers behind that, because we had to sometimes miss school to be able to travel. And then we had our friends, and then we had more coaches, and then we had different types of people. Because when you do something, it's not just about what happens. Let's say I'll pick on basketball this year, what happens on the court. But we had to lift weights. We had to take dance classes. We had to take media training classes. We had to take psychology classes. There were all kinds of things we had to do to perfect what we were doing on the ice. And then 3 or 4 hours a day we spent skating. But we trained anywhere from 7 to 9 hours a day, depending on the day. So a typical day when we went to train in Delaware, which was an area where a number of Olympians had trained, was that we got to the arena at 12 in the afternoon, and we skated from 12 until 3. And then my sister and I, we had jobs because it was a very expensive thing to do. And so we went to work from 4 until 11, about 10 o'clock, 10 or 11 o'clock. I worked at a restaurant, and my sister worked at the mall at a clothing store. And then from 11 until 5 or 6 in the morning, we trained. And that was our schedule. So we started at 12 in the afternoon, and then we finished about 6 in the morning. And that was our schedule. We did that Monday through Friday, and then we had Saturday off, and then we'd go back to the arena on Sunday night at 11 o'clock and started our week again. And then they finally built a new skating rink next to the one that we were training in, so there were 2. Then we got to kind of be normal, and then we trained from about 8:30 in the morning until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that became our schedule for a few years. And I was telling the story in my State of the City speech. I said, when we got to take the ice in Calgary at the Olympic Games, that was the finished product, and we skated very well there. We were very lucky that we trained hard, and when we got there, we skated really well, and probably one of the best skates we've ever had. And I tell people, but that was the finished product. Along the way, so the journey that happened from the time we started at the Idlewild in Marion, Indiana, there were 2 broken collarbones, a broken nose, 5 or 6 concussions, a broken finger that was so dislocated that my sister had to have 6 hours of surgery in France. There were times that we went to a competition and skated really well and didn't make the world skating team. Devastating to us at that time. And there were times that we skated that we didn't think we skated well and won. And then there was times where we had really cool things that happened in France and in England. We won competitions there and skated well. We got to stand on the podium and watch the American flag go up and hear the national anthem play. And then in that case, I think that both times there were 2 Russian flags on either side of the American flag. And you know what we did when that happened? you know what happens when you're watching the Olympics?